It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good morning, 4th of June 2019. It's a minute past 8 a.m. CET. Piotr here, and this is the pre-London Open live market coverage on Global Light Forex YouTube channel. Let's start with risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind trading FX on margin, trading crypto on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for investors who can sustain unless some or your initial investment. So please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. All right, plenty of things going on around. Huge sell-off on Nasdaq yesterday, and we are going to start with that, with Nasdaq. So, what is all about? Yeah, let me provide the link for you. That's what we are talking about. It's the whole article from Reuters. So what is all about? US government is gearing up to investigate whether Amazon, Apple, Facebook and Google misuse their massive market power. So looks like there was a case with the banks, right? Too big to fail. In relation to money management, now we got similar action towards the tech giants. But the thing is, the truth is that similar thing has happened already in US, late 80s, beginning of 90s, against Intel and Microsoft. So yeah, we'll see. You have to think about that, and especially where the Intel and Microsoft are today. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, that was one of the reasons of the sell-off. So what has happened yesterday? We were looking for liquidity below 8 of the March low. Actually didn't happen. It is some kind of the, let's call it double bottom or equal bottom here. I think that's not going to hold, right? And there are two possible, of course there are much more possible scenarios, but what I'm looking for here is for stop hunt. And actually, if you remember, we were discussing about that, right? Once we are going to break this level, 7,267, 1,210, we are going to expose the latest Nasdaq weakness, right? And we are talking about the range from 12th of December 2018, right? Looks like we are on the way towards these levels. So I'm looking for a stop hunt, and I'm looking for some kind, or at least attempt to reverse around 6,850, this time from the higher time frame, right, perspective. From the smaller time frame perspective, looks like, and I missed that one, all right, looks like we are moving by equal moves. The only thing I was not able yesterday to recognize was the corrections, right? It didn't work that way yesterday, but anyway, still some space. What I'm looking for today, there is a possibility that we are gonna to see the first possible supply around 7060. That's the yesterday pre-open double bottom, right? So that's what I'm looking for as a first selling opportunity, first possible buying opportunity. Probably if that's gonna be the case and we are going to hit that 7060, look, we are going to possibly retest the 6850, and that's where I'm gonna to look for intraday buying opportunity, in that case in Nasdaq. All right. The thing is, we need more details in regards to this US government probe, and probably we are gonna to get these details in the coming days. So I do expect a little bit bigger volatility here, and I do believe that some will start to look, from the investment perspective, some will start to look for buying opportunity. We'll see. We are going to watch Nasdaq during our afternoon meeting. If we are talking about the afternoon meeting, we have today at 2. We start at 2 p.m. CET time. We are going to cover New York Open. Tomorrow 8 and 2 as usual, 8 a.m. CET, 2 p.m. CET. But we have two important events this week. The first one is on Thursday, and ECB day, I would like to call that way, and we are going to cover it live. You are more than welcome to join me on Thursday, 1:15 p.m. CET, half an hour before the decision, right? Then the Friday we do have non-farm payrolls, so I'm going to cover it live, and you are more than welcome to join me on Friday as well. This time 2:15, 15 minutes ahead of the event. All right, so that's how it looks this week. So we had this huge sell-off on the Nasdaq, and there was some profit taking or short covering going into the close, right? So there is a nice V formation, but I think that as long as we are below 7060, yeah, at least one more wave to the downside is possible here. All right, that's how the things looks like from the Nasdaq perspective. So we are done here with indices. Now, plenty of important things are going on the FX side. So let's switch to the FX right now. Yesterday there was a PMI day, Asia, Europe and US, right? So we got Caixin manufacturing PMI out of China a little bit above 50, but then horrible German final manufacturing PMI at 44.3. Afternoon brought US final manufacturing PMI at 50.5 and ISM at 52.1, where expectations were at 53. So one thing in relation to the Nasdaq was the sell-off related to this government probe, but also the data didn't support stocks yesterday. So especially the afternoon data, dollar related, we saw a little bit of the dollar weakness, and it was the data, and it was the lower yields, right? During the evening yesterday, second part of the New York session, we had a Bullard speaks, very dovish, spoke about the possibility of the rate cut, and that was the moment we saw more dollar weakness into the New York close. We are going to check dollar index chart in a second, right? What we are going to, or during the Tokyo session, we had retail sales out of the Australia weaker than what market was expecting, and there was a RBA interest rate decision with the statement. So RBA cut by 25 basis points. All right, and here is the link to the statement, but as you can see, it's a little bit different move than what some may expect, right? So if you remember our yesterday discussion about the Australian dollar, right? We were discussing about the range which happened 3 weeks ago, right? And we are approaching top of that range. I do expect rejection, and either it's going to happen around 70. That's what we've already seen, all right, or a little bit higher towards 70-60. Okay, so in that case, all right, we are talking about either the zone over here without the lower shadow. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, and I'm talking 70 is the bottom of that range, right? Around 70. That's where I see some sellers activity. All right, and another level, it's 70-80 with the stops above 70-60. That's what we discussed yesterday as well, right? So for now, I'm looking for a price action around current level. That's where I'm going to look to fade that move, all right? 70-60 is more important. That's what we discussed yesterday as well, right? But what is the, if I would be able to to move the market, right? I would try to move the market here. Why? Let me explain. Because if bulls are going to be able to break through this supply level, right? That's the latest weakness we've seen here. That's the latest weakness we've seen here, all right? In that case, any kind of the pullback may hold this level, right? So in that case, we might change a little bit. We might change the direction a little bit, right? At least we might go neutral from here. So as of now, as long as we are below this zone, I'm looking to sell Australian dollar. Okay. Interesting thing is that only once in the recent RBA history, only once happened that RBA, after the first cut, there was no second cut, right? So based on some stats, okay, there are the expectations that RBA is going to cut one more time this year. So how does it look from the intraday perspective? All right, looks nice here. and I'm going to look for, because that's the 1 hour chart, so what I'm looking for is, that's the RBA, hour after RBA. What I would like to see here around the London Open, it's still 45 minutes. I would like to see third upper shadow over here, right? But lower than the upper shadow from the previous hour, all right? So I would like to see attempt to go higher, some kind of the upper shadow, retest the broken trend line again, and if I'm gonna to get the third one, upper shadow lower than the previous upper shadow, I'm going to fade that move. That's how I'm looking at this Aussie dollar here, right? Okay. What is going on Australian dollar USD, it's not included in the dollar basket, so Australian dollar is not included, so now we can switch to the majors where all have influence in dollar index. So we are going to start actually with dollar index, because there was a huge sell-off yesterday as well. Give me a second, please. Okay, we discussed, as you can see the lines from yesterday, we discussed such a possibility yesterday. Now it's all about the levels we are approaching right now, and we are approaching these levels very fast. I think that the low from the 13th of May, right, and we are talking about something around 97, that's where the liquidity pool, and we might see some stop count, so we might see a little bit more dollar weakness. Then it's all about what next, right? I think so this one we can remove, the line from yesterday we can remove this one, all right? So either we are going to hold this aggressive falling trend line and we might see the bounce. Now the bounce, I do not expect right now higher bounce than 97.60, 97.70. We are talking about the weekly open, that's the one thing, but also we are talking about what we've seen in the past here to the left, all right? So 97.60 as a key here, right? And that's where the stops reside, some liquidity pool over here, below here and below here. So 97, 96, 80, quite important levels for now, and move and close below may expose 96. Now we know that the euro dollar is the heavyweight and number one when we are talking about the dollar index. So the I do not expect bigger fireworks ahead of the Thursday. We might try to bounce here towards the weekly open, and I think that Thursday, Friday, the combination of the ECB day and non-farm payrolls day next day, that's gonna be the key from the weekly chart perspective. So just let's switch for a second into the weekly on dollar index. Of course, we are going to get back into that chart tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, but let's have a look where we are right now. So from the weekly chart perspective, all right, upper shadow, that's what we discussed, right? That's what we discussed already. we are looking for the liquidity, and after this upper shadow we were discussing that the market may want to try to find the liquidity. Now from the weekly perspective, the key is 97.60, right? So what we might see, we cannot rule it out, this stuff right now. What we might see is opposite to what we've seen last week. So at some point we might see building of the lower shadow, and especially if we are going to take this channel into the consideration. So yeah, if we are going to take this channel into the consideration, if we are going to get the bottom of that channel into consideration, right? So one of my way of thinking is looking for a liquidity over here, right, and start building the lower shadow and close above this level, going back into that channel, right, may prepare us for a new high for dollar. On the other hand, if bulls are not gonna be able to hold either this low or these levels here, and we are going to get the close below, then what we discussed also based on the daily, 96 might be exposed. So let's switch to the lower time frame. Let's switch to the intraday. What kind of the price action can we expect? Okay, so first thing first, what I'm looking for, if you see the price action here, over here, right? So we had this kind of the action that low, we hit the low, bounce, quick lower low with the Riley, right? So where we are right now, all right, we are, and that's the possibility of the over under creation here, right? What I'm talking about is here is this possible demand we are testing right now. Okay, so if and when London will be able to get back, let me show you bigger, we need the bigger, all right. So from this intraday chart perspective, what is needed? Let me cancel this one. What is needed from the bulls perspective? From the bulls perspective, we need to, at the London Open, we need to take out and close above this late Tokyo high, right? So what we are going to have in that case, similar scenario to the one discussed a second ago, right? So low, a little bit of the stabilization, lower low, and Riley. Now Riley may bring 97.50, 97.60 again, right? But there is a opposite side, and we have to talk what bears may try to do, especially that they may try to use yesterday momentum to continue the move, right? In that case, there is a on the hourly, one particular candle I'm gonna to look at what happened 2 hours ago, right? And I'm looking for this particular level here, and we are talking about the 97.17, 97.20. All right, so let's switch lower, 10-minute chart, and there we go, right? So it's all about, from the intraday perspective, in my opinion, it's all about 97.17, 97.20 right now. if we are gonna be able to move and close above this combination here, right, we may expose 97.50, 97.60, but if we are gonna to fade the level over here, then 96, 97, 96, 80 as a next level for dollar bears. All right, so let's get back to the platform. And let's have a look what is going on. All right, so there is a, from the euro dollar perspective, right, there is a attempt to move higher. We hit yesterday high and we are drawing the upper shadow here, right? I do prefer to check where we are at the London Open, so within the next 34 minutes, right? But looks from the bears perspective on euro dollar, or other words, from the dollar bulls perspective, it looks a little bit better. So meaning that we might see at least attempt to go higher on the dollar side. All right. So liquidity, we found the liquidity, rejection. Now it's also important where we are from higher time frame, right? And there you go. We are testing the supply based on the price action from the 13th and 10th of May, right? And we are right here, all right? Now, definitely there is some kind of the liquidity pool above here, all right? And we might see attempt to retest the range from 17th of April, right? In that case, we are talking about this one over here, right? So let's move the line here and we know where we are. So we are talking about 1275, and that's what we discussed. It might be the key, right? So anything in between here, because that's the latest weakness, that's the latest euro weakness, all right, and 1275, that's the key psychological zone from the bulls and bears perspective, in my opinion, short and medium term on euro dollar here. All right, now in case of rejection here, of course 1215 may work as a possible demand, and then Friday high and Friday close. In that case, we are talking about 1180, 1168. All right, but definitely it's worth to watch euro dollar here. And how I'm gonna watch it is I'm gonna to look to fade attempt to go higher. So I'm looking for a rejection here. Only strong close above may bring us higher levels. And to be honest with you, I do not expect much fireworks above ahead of the ECB, because even I already have a plan for ECB. One of the plan is in case of the further dollar weakness. Anyway, we are going to see some kind of the shakeout during the ECB day to the downside. So this 1215, 1180, I do believe it's gonna be retested, right? That's how I see the thing. So from the intraday perspective, watching this price action and what happened yesterday. So for now, Frankfurt brought higher levels compared to late New York. All right, that's what we've seen here. Looking for a rejection. That's what is going on right now. but I'm not gonna trade ahead of the London Open, right? The thing is, maybe there are gonna be another attempt to go higher, so this one might not be enough, and we are going to see another attempt to go higher, maybe 1275, right, somewhere here, and then some kind of the bearish price action. As of now, we are trying to consolidate late New York, Tokyo, first hour of the Frankfurt trading, all right? So would be good to see another attempt to go higher. Now, once we are going to start to fall, if you are going to sit short, I would be very careful around this 1240 level, all right? Because we might see attempt to break through this consolidation to the downside with quick rejection. So then that's gonna be the sign it's time to get out, all right? In case of the breakdown, as you can see, once we are gonna to break through, the 1215 might be in play. So trying to summarize euro dollar, looking for beginning of the London, looking for another attempt to go higher and rejection. So looking for a long dollar. Yesterday we spoke about the pound. We discussed that it's not good time to try to fade rallies. So congratulations for bulls. If you are long, then congratulations. If you are a bear, you should be patient, as we discussed yesterday. Now, why? Because we had some kind of the reversal on Friday, continuation yesterday, 27.50. That's the level, very important from both bulls and bears perspective, based on yearly open. That's what we discussed, and that's probably that's the line over here, 27.56. That's also the unfinished business over here. So plenty of things related to the pound here. Now, yesterday we got the manufacturing PMI out of UK, and it was below 50, where 52.5 was expected. So in case we are going to get construction PMI weaker, below 50, right, that might be the case for pound to go lower, right, even from here, but maybe some kind of the spike towards 27.50. Now, from intraday perspective, of course, if you are a bull, you don't want to see what we seeing right now, the quite strong rejection. Similar situation we have on euro dollar, right? So there was an attempt to go higher. We broke through yesterday high. More stops were taken out, and we are fighting with this supply zone from here, right? So quite nice rejection is going on. Yeah, very interesting where we are going to be within the next 30 minutes. And finally, dollar yen, and here huge breakdown, right, through the previous demand, which may work right now as a supply without the lower shadow. That's how I see the things, all right? We broke through another possible demand, right, and creating lower low here, compared to what we've seen to the left. Now, if that was the another possible demand, right, we have to get back above these levels at least to get back to neutral, right? Otherwise, watch out for 107.60 and 107.40, right? The zone. I'm not talking about this lower shadow. I'm talking about the next day low and opening closing levels over here. So probably that's what we targeting now. There was a lot of things going on in relation to US interest rates, right? With very dovish Bullard calling for even 2 cuts. Some guys, some folks are talking about 3 possible cuts towards 2020, with 2020, right? But 2 important people, FOMC related, are going to speak today. I'm talking about Chair Powell at 3:55, so during our afternoon meeting, all right, and earlier 2:30 Williams. So both, we are going to cover both during our afternoon meeting. So as a friendly reminder, you are more than welcome to join me later today at 2 p.m. CET. I'm going to cover live New York Open, and another reminder, Thursday and Friday, 2 important days this week. Thursday is a ECB day and we are going to cover it live. We start our meeting at 1:15, and Friday, non-farm payrolls, and we are going to cover this live as well. We start 2:15. Another friendly reminder, next week, Tuesday 11th, we do have first long-awaited webinar. We start 8:45 a.m. CET, and we are going to do that via webinar room. More details to come. Okay, folks, that's it. Hi, Mer. Hi. Good morning. Okay, guys, that's it from my side this morning. Again, you're more than welcome to join me afternoon. That's the reminder in relation to the Australian dollar. It's coming. So we make this attempt to move higher, and we are creating third shadow. It's lower than the previous one, which is lower than the previous one. So in case we are going to get that one, especially that it's the retest of the broken trend line, that might be some kind of the opportunity. All right, what's going to be the target in that case? First target is going to be somewhere here. We are talking about levels just below 69.40. Okay. All right, guys, thank you very much. Have a great morning. Be careful during the London session. Don't be trapped, and see you around within the next few hours. Goodbye.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.